Hello, welcome back on lesson 24. So we're going to be looking at the modal verb practice lesson. Let's have a look at the can and could. Can't and couldn't. Okay, so the negative of can is can't or cannot, and negative of could is couldn't or could not. A, something something, so there's a blank space, you need to fill it out. Jake ran long distances when he was a boy. Can Jake run long distances when he was a boy? Now that doesn't really make sense, can, because when he was, that's in the past, therefore it'd be interesting for you to use could. So could Jake run long distances when he was a boy? I don't know, maybe yes. That would be the correct answer, okay? So for can and could, you can either use in the affirmative term, which is yes or no, okay? Yes, he can, and yes, he could. Or you could use can't and couldn't as well. So can't, present, couldn't, past. May and might, next one. Let's just do A together. They, may, might, finish the project on time. The engineer is here to help. Which one is it? So they might finish the project in time. The engineer is here to help them. They might finish on time. The engineer is here to help. That was interesting because if the person is there to help, then it's more likely that they will finish on time because they're getting help. They're receiving help. So may is a stronger possibility than might in this situation. Okay, so we would use may instead of might for this specific situation. Shall, shouldn't, and ought to. Letter A. You get your teeth cleaned at least once a year. You shall get your clean teeth. Am I giving you permission? You shall go, you shall stay. Maybe, but I don't think that's it. You shouldn't get your teeth cleaned at least once a year. I don't think so, because it sounds like an advice. Okay, so if it sounds like an advice, it shouldn't be negative with shouldn't. And if you're actually giving a bit of a feeling of an obligation, which is something you must do, instead of using must and you want to sound a bit more polite, then you can use ought to. Oh God, that sounds nasty. You ought to get your teeth cleaned at least once a year. That sounds very nice, like a mother speaking to a son or a daughter. Yes. And then we have will and would. Will and would on the first example. I will like to order the onion soup, please. Or you could say politely and correctly, I would like to order the onion soup, please. Which one do you think sounds better? I don't know. I think would, maybe. It's up to you. Must, have to, and need to. They're all obligations. All of those obligations. So must is something that if you do not do it, you will die for it. Something bad, terrible would happen because it's your responsibility. So it's something you must do. You must honor your commitment, basically. Have to is something that you won't die in case you don't do it, but then again it's a necessity which you are bound to do it, so it's interesting that you own up to it. And need to do is a necessity as well. Okay, so let's have a look at letter A. You tell Anna about the party tomorrow night. It's a surprise. Must not, need, or doesn't, or have to. Well, how can we use this? So look, you mustn't tell Anna about the party tomorrow night. It's a surprise. Must not, okay? Because it's a surprise. So it's something you cannot do over your dead body. Don't do it. Please don't do it. Because it's a surprise and you're going to ruin it, okay? So finish up these exercises. There are many here. There's over 20 of them for you to do it. It's interesting, to follow them. And then here on the notes we have the abilities. We use can to talk about someone's skill or general ability. For example, she can speak several languages. Ooh, like the Pope can speak several languages. That I know. I know I can't. He can swim like a fish. He who? Aquaman. Aquaman can swim like a fish. He's a fish. He's an Aquaman. They can't dance very well. That's in a negative, so it's a negative ability, therefore it's not an ability, just negatives to show that you can't do something. Next lesson, we're going to be looking at lesson 25 with the simple past tense. And it's interesting because we're finally going to be looking at the ing forms of the regular verbs, because we've been looking at the irregular verbs. We had 4 lessons on irregular verbs. This is the first one on regular verbs. Okay, so see you soon. Bye.